What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here. So before you really start asking, yes, this is The Last of Us remastered gameplay. I did end up getting the game, even though I said for a few weeks that I wasn't going to. The plan originally was that I wasn't going to get it, but a few things changed there. I got some special reasons why I did end up getting it, but it would be way too long of a story to, to tell you that right now. So I'll talk about that sometime later in a different video for sure. But yes, like I said, before you start asking, yes, this is The Last of Us remastered gameplay. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about, let's talk, let's do some new updates on Uncharted 4, because few things happen again, few things I can talk about that are quite interesting, and I'm thinking now, should I start off with the good news or the bad news? I guess it's just best to get the bad news out of the way first. Two more people have left Naughty Dog, Taylor Kurosaki and Jacob Minkoff. Now, these names might not say anything to you per se, but if you have watched like the interviews that you always saw in these, Uncharted 3 videos or The Last of Us videos, these were actually some pretty key people in the studio. Taylor Kurosaki was a big guy in terms of the Uncharted team. He was one of the, like I said, pretty much together with Amy Hennig and some other people, really responsible for the narrative, for the, like he was the director and stuff, and the mocap and those kinds of things. After Uncharted 3, he pretty much immediately moved on to Uncharted 4, and Jacob Minkoff worked on Uncharted 3 as one of the lead designers, then switched to the Last of Us team to work as a lead designer, for that game. So both of these were really big people in the studio, and it's a big shame that they left as well. And I know, like, the first thing people ask me now is because they actually left Naughty Dog for Infinity Ward, the studio responsible for the Call of Duty games, and a lot of people have asked me now, Robin, what the hell is wrong with these people to leave a studio like Naughty Dog, to go to the studio that was very big back in the days with Modern Warfare 1 and 2, but then with the third Modern Warfare and with Call of Duty Dogs, that wasn't exactly the best game in the series either. What is wrong with them to join that studio? Well, I think it's pretty simple. I mean, they were probably offered just a job that paid out more, for example, or at the same time, I could also really see the reason being that, if you work at Naughty Dog, it's already the studio making one of the best games out there, or some of the best games out there, of course, and with a studio like Infinity Ward that has really gone downhill now, maybe they feel kind of like challenged to try and bring them back up, to take the Call of Duty games in a different direction and to really, make that franchise live again. And yeah, that being said, I mean, I wish them a lot of luck. I hope they can pull it off. I hope they can make some awesome Call of Duty games. I got more interest in them now for sure. So yeah, I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing. But that's the first news piece of the day. Of course, there are a lot of naysayers and people saying, Naughty Dog has just entered their doom days or whatever, or the glory days are over. That's definitely not the case, of course. I mean, 250 people, once again, like I said before in videos, work at that studio. So this doesn't mean that any projects are going to be heavily impacted at all. Yes, these were key people and it's a shame that they left, but doesn't mean that all the games are going to go downhill or whatever, because at the same time they are also hiring a lot of new people. For example, some news I think a few weeks back was that they hired, for example, an animator, really important, regarding the Assassin's Creed series, who was actually one of the people responsible for a lot of things in that series for Ubisoft before. But yeah, I mean, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. And then the next thing is Neil Druckmann, who at Comic-Con was interviewed and was asked a question if he could share us anything more about Uncharted 4. Now, what he said is some pretty general stuff. The game is going to be awesome. They're going to try a few new things with the story. There's going to be set pieces once again. Everything you know from previous games is going to be in this game as well, but it's going to be bigger and better. All the general stuff that you could already predict him to say, but at the same time, what he also says is that we can expect to see something new of the game soon. Now, one thing that I think is very important to remember regarding what he said here, that there's going to be something new that they will show off soon, is that Naughty Dog treats the word soon in a different way than most people do. Let's be honest about that. I mean, when they say soon, before I've seen them saying there would be news on a new patch soon or a new trailer or whatever, and it could take literally 3 months or 4 months until we actually heard something. Doesn't mean, of course, that we can't see anything actually soon, like in a few weeks or a month or whatever, but this is just the first warning I want to give to people. Don't expect this to be something definitive that you will see something actually soon. That said though, of course, Gamescom is coming up in a few weeks. Actually, I think it is August 13th that's gonna start. I'm pretty sure the press conferences are on the 12th. I'll make a video on that soon as well. But yeah, I mean, it could of course be Sony is going to have a huge press conference there. They could show off some new stuff of Uncharted 4. Would be really awesome. I'd be super excited for it. So to hear him say soon makes me think, will we see something at Gamescom? Initially, I didn't expect it because, look, the game is going to be coming out in 2015 and, you know, then the speculation is it going to come out somewhere in the summer, in June, like The Last of Us, or at the end of the year? And I would personally say we'll see it at the end of the year. As always, all the Uncharted games have released in October and in November. Now, yes, they did bring out The Last of Us in June, but you gotta remember that that was a new IP, and at the same time the PS4 would be coming out later that year. So they would never release The Last of Us for PS3 in the same period that the PS4 was going to be released. That would simply not happen. So I definitely expect Uncharted 4 to come out at the end of 2015. And then, you know, the thing I was really thinking is that the game would be heavily promoted during that year. So maybe somewhere early in the year, in March, like they did before with like, I think they showed gameplay of the third Uncharted on the Jimmy Fallon show or whatever, sometime in March. They had a multiplayer beta in April, and then at E3 of course, and at Gamescom and all those events, they would show off some amazing new stuff, but that was really close to the actual release of the game. So to already show something now at Gamescom when the game is still 1.5 years away from us, it would seem a bit too early, to be honest. But that said, of course, they have already shown us something. They might as well show us something now if they're super excited about the game, got some stuff ready, think they are ready to already promote the game quite heavily, then I would say go ahead. But yeah, all in all, what I want to say about this is that don't hold your breath immediately. It's not bound to happen or anything at all. But it would be really awesome to see that for sure. So these were the things I wanted to talk about regarding Uncharted 4 today, so I hope I got your interest. And of course, let me know in the comments what you think about all these things. Do you think it's a shame those people left Naughty Dog for Infinity Ward? And at the same time, do you expect to already see something of the game at Gamescom? I would be super excited about it for sure, but I just don't really see it happening, to be honest. So with that said, I'd like to thank you a lot for watching and hope to see you again next time. You don't have to do the crime to do the time. It's just guilt by association.